A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. We are on ayat number 56, Surah An-Nisa. It is said in a hadith which comes in both Bukhari and Muslim. Nabi Sallallahu said that the lightest in punishment among the people of fire will be the man in the sole of whose feet there will be two smouldering embers, the heat from which will keep his brain boiling like a cauldron boiling to the brim. This is the minimum punishment that one will have to bear in the hellfire. May Allah save all of us from the hellfire. Whereas on the other hand, وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ سَنُدْخِلُهُمْ جَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا أَبَدًا. Allah says, as for those who believe and do righteous deeds, we shall admit them to gardens beneath which rivers flow therein, they will live there forever. They will have purified spouses and we shall provide them with cool, thick shade. According to Hazrat Abu Huraira, Nabi Sallallahu said, there is a tree in paradise. If a rider were to ride under its shade for 100 years, he will still not cross it. So, وَنُدْخِلُهُمْ ظِلًّا ظَلِيلًا. So, Allah says He is going to provide them with cool, thick shades. Now from here Allah is going to command us some more rulings for the betterment of a society. Allah says, Inna Allaha ya'murukum an tu'addul amanati ila ahliha wa iza hakamtum bayna nasi an tahkumu bil adl inna Allaha ni'imma ya'izukum bih inna Allaha kana samiyan basira. Allah commands you to give back the trust to their rightful owners, and when you judge between people, judge with fairness. Surely excellent is the counsel which Allah gives you. Allah is He who hears and observes all. Now this commandment is general also, and it can be specified to the point that Hazrat Usman bin Talha, he was the custodian of the keys of Khane-e-Kaaba. And we see Hazrat Usman bin Talha had converted to Islam at the time of Sulh Hudaybiyah. And now when the time of conquest of Makkah came, Nabi Sallallahu finally handed the keys to Hazrat Usman bin Talha. And at this was the amanat that was referred, that you should give it to the one who should be entrusted with it. And here we also see that Allah says that وَإِذَا حَكَمْتُمْ بَيْنَ النَّاسِ أَن تَحْكُمُوا بِالْعَدْلِ, that when you have to judge between people, then you have to judge with fairness. Now this applies to both generally also and to the leaders also. And of course it is said that till the time a just ruler is making his decisions without zulm, that means he is not being unjust, then Allah is with him. Otherwise, if he starts performing zulm or if he becomes unjust, that Allah leaves that ruler to himself. And amongst the 7 people who will be under the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's arsh on the day of resurrection, one of them is going to be a just ruler. So this is a very important thing as to save a society from the evils of shaitan, that the leaders who are leading should perform their duties with just, and especially when it comes to making decisions between people, it should be a non-biased attitude. Whether it is going against our relatives, whether it goes against our families, whether it goes against my own self. When it comes to make a decision, if this is our basis, that we have to fear Allah and make a just decision, whoever takes the favor, whoever deserves to take the favor, then this is what we call taqwa. So this is the best nasiha that Allah gives to us in the Quran. Then Allah says that Ya ayyuhallazina amanu atiyullaha wa atiyur rasul. O believers, obey Allah and obey the Rasul. And thirdly, wa ulil amri minkum, and those charged with authority amongst you. But when it will come to obeying the authorities above us, there of course obedience is conditional, whereas the obedience to Allah and His Rasul, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, is unconditional. Whether we like it or not, we have to obey. But when it comes to ruling authority, the rule is that as long as they do not make you commit sins, then you are liable to take their instructions, even if he is a Negro, even if he is someone you think. If you remember in the case we did in the first para, in the case of Talut, what did the people say? They said that you chose him to become our king. He is not one of us. He is not even rich. But here Allah gives us the ruling that when somebody has been made an authority over us, then we have to listen to him. We have to abide by his rules, even if he is someone that we think is not up to our status. But of course, when it comes to committing sins, for example, if someone is working and his boss tells him to go and steal someone's important file for him, or if he tells him to go and do bribery for him, now this is of course committing a sin. So do you think he will have to obey him just because he is telling him to do so? No. Then we will have to analyze that if someone is telling me to go and commit a sin, is he going to come with me in my grave and save me from my sins? Is he going to stand by me on the day of resurrection and answer the questions Allah is going to put up before me, that why did you do it? Is he going to be standing and answering them for me? No. Nobody is going to enter our graves. We have to go into our graves ourselves. So then when we are making any such sins, committing any such sins, then we need to see, am I going to be able to answer this? And the answer definitely is going to be no. So when the answer is no, then we need to avoid such situations. So Allah says, should you have a dispute in anything, going further, if there is a dispute, refer it to Allah and His Rasul if you truly believe in Allah and the last day. This course of action will be better and more suitable. Now in this case, let me read some ahadith to you. Hazrat Anas radiallahu anhu says, it must have been a rare sermon indeed in which Aap may not have said the following words: one who does not fulfill trust obligations has no faith with him, and one who does not stand by his word of promise has no religion with him. Then it is said that breach of trust is a sign of hypocrisy. According to Hazrat Abu Huraira radiallahu anhu and Hazrat Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, this comes in Bukhari and Muslim both, Aap pointed out, give him an amana and he will do khiyana. Who? A hypocrite. And similarly, receiver of amana is ameen. He's made an ameen, he's a trustee. So he cannot give this responsibility to anyone who is not deserving. Because he's been made an ameen, then he has to see whoever he gives this responsibility must be able to fulfill it also. Then we see in another hadith it is said, when the responsibility of affairs is placed under the charge of those who are not deserving of and fit for it, then wait for the day of resurrection, meaning then just be patient. Don't go out becoming unruly, but be patient and then wait for the day. Similarly, it is said that the meetings that are conducted, they are also a kind of trust. If someone comes and wants you to give an opinion, or someone comes to take and wants to consult you, then that means you've been made a trustee. So this becomes an amana. So we need to be very careful with these things. Abu Zar requested Aap that he may be appointed as the governor of some Islamic state. In reply, Nabi said, O Abu Zar, you are weak and this is an office of trust, which may on the day of resurrection become the cause of disgrace and dishonor and remorse, except for one who has fulfilled all his trust obligations fully and duly. Meaning, this is the only way he can save himself for the disgrace. So whoever has to be appointed, it must be noted that does he deserve that amana or not. So Allah says, Zalika khairum wa ahsanu tawila. This course of action will be better and more suitable. Have you not seen those who claim that they believe in what has been revealed to you and other prophets before you, yet they desire that the judgment be made by Taghut, though they were commanded to reject them, and Shaitan's wish is to lead them far astray into deep error. When it is said to them, come to be judged by the Rasul in accordance with what Allah has revealed, you see that the hypocrites show their utmost hesitation in coming to you. But see how they behave when they get into trouble as a consequence of their own doings. They come to you swearing by Allah that they desired nothing but to promote good and bring about a reconciliation. Allah knows what's really in their hearts. Therefore, leave them alone, admonish them and speak to them effectual words which may go deep into their hearts. Now, in these couple of ayats, we will see that this is related to an incident in which there was a hypocrite and there was a Jew, and they both had a dispute, and the hypocrite wanted to take this dispute matter to the leader of the Jews, that was Ka'b bin Ashraf. And the Jew, knowing Prophet Muhammad to be trustworthy, Sadiq and Ameen, he wanted this dispute to be presented before Prophet Muhammad. Now, being a hypocrite, of course, he was called a Muslim, so he could not deny that he can't go to Prophet Muhammad. So they both eventually went to Aap, and when this case was presented, Aap gave the decision in favor of the Jew. Now, this of course was disliked by the hypocrite. So he suggested that they should go to Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu. The hypocrite, realizing that Hazrat Umar had more of a soft corner towards the Muslim than the Jews, may change this decision of Aap towards the hypocrite. When they went to Hazrat Umar's house, the Jew briefed the incident, and he also told Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu that this case has been given in my favor by your Prophet Muhammad. Hearing this, Hazrat Umar, we all know that he was a very staunch believer. Hearing this, he went inside, he brought his sword and he killed the hypocrite. Nabi Sallallahu knew that Hazrat Umar would never kill a mu'min. Only and only in the case of a hypocrite would he do that. And this was the incident after which Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu was given the title of Farooq, one who can differentiate between good and bad. Now, what happened was, since the hypocrite was killed by Hazrat Umar, the family members of this hypocrite came to Prophet Muhammad for qisas against Hazrat Umar. While during all this was happening, Allah Ta'ala revealed to Prophet Muhammad that this man was a hypocrite, and the family members, instead of coming for qisas, and the reason they came for qisas was that person only went to Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu so that he could reconcile between the two and bring them to a solution, like we say, a settlement out of court. And he never meant that he wanted to go against the decision of Prophet Muhammad whereas Allah had informed Prophet Muhammad that this man never had the intentions of reconciliation, and he only wanted to disobey you only after hearing your decision that he wanted to be exempted, and that someone else should give a decision in his favor. So if I go back to the words of this ayat, you may be able to understand in a much better manner. I'll go through this again. Have you not seen those who claim that they believe in what has been revealed to you and other prophets before you? This is the people of the book. Yet they desired that the judgment be made by Taghut. And referring this Taghut over here was referring to the leader of the Jews. Though they were commanded to reject them. And Shaitan's wish is to lead them far astray into deep error. When it is said to them, come to be judged by the Rasul in accordance with what Allah has revealed, when the hypocrite was told to come to Prophet Muhammad, you see that the hypocrite showed their utmost hesitation in coming to you. And with hypocrites, they never wanted Hazrat Muhammad to be their judge, to solve their problem, or they never wanted to accept his decision. But see how they behave when they get into trouble. What trouble did they get in? That Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu killed the hypocrite. And as a consequence of their own doings, they come to you swearing by Allah that they desired nothing but to promote good and bring about a reconciliation. This is when the heirs of the hypocrite came to Prophet Muhammad that he did not go against your decision, he only wanted Hazrat Umar to bring a reconciliation between the Jew and the hypocrite. Allah knows what's really in their hearts, and this is how it was revealed to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ that this man is a hypocrite. Therefore, leave them alone. There is no point of taking qisas of Hazrat Umar because this man was a hypocrite, he was not a mu'min. Admonish them and speak to them effectual words which may go deep into their hearts. We did not send any Rasul but to be obeyed by Allah's leave. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن رَسُولٍ إِلَّا لِيُطَاعَ بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. You see how clearly Allah mentions here that Rasul has been sent for us to follow him. We cannot then bring our judgments against the judgment of the Rasul ﷺ. If they would have come to you when they had wronged themselves to seek Allah's forgiveness, and if the Rasul had also asked Allah's forgiveness for them, they would have found Allah forgiving and merciful. No, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, by your Rabb, they will never be true believers until they accept you as a judge in their disputes. Then they do not find any resentment in their hearts against your verdicts and accept them with complete submission. This is a sign of true Iman. Should we want to check our Imans, then we need to check. Then whenever we read a solution given by Prophet Muhammad ﷺ in a hadith, then do we abide by it, or do we say no, this was something 1400 years ago, not applicable today, please put the hadith aside. Let's bring our own conclusions and solutions. Is that going to be our reply? Then Allah clearly says that unless and until they don't accept you as a judge in their disputes, and they do not above that find any resentment in their hearts against your verdicts and accept them with complete submission. So this example, وَيُسَلِّمُوا تَسْلِيمًا, will they accept it with complete submission? And in the case of this incident that we just shared, this ayat clearly says that even today, for any one of us, especially the Muslims, when we read something in the hadith that Prophet Muhammad has given us a solution to that, that means it is obligatory on all of us to follow. If we had commanded them to sacrifice their lives or to leave their homes, very few of them would have done it. Yet if they would have done what they were commanded to do, it would have been better for them. Not only would their faith have been strengthened, but we would have given them an extra great reward on our own. That means always obedience comes first, and obedience is one way of strengthening Iman. And also guided them to the right way. Allah would have made further guidance easier for those who were following and being obedient to Allah. And this ayat is also a warning to the hypocrites, and this is also a warning for the Muslims to follow the command as it is. Whosoever obeys Allah and the Rasul will be in the company of those whom Allah has blessed, the prophets, the truthful, the martyrs and the righteous. What excellent companions they will be. فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِم مِّنَ النَّبِيِّينَ وَالصِّدِّيقِينَ وَالشُّهَدَاءِ وَالصَّالِحِينَ وَحَسُنَ أُولَٰئِكَ رَفِيقًا. Hazrat Aisha narrates that a Sahabi came to Apis one day and he said, Ya Rasulallah, I hold you dear, dearer than my life, more than my wife and my children. There are at times I don't get to see myself at peace till I come and see you and meet you. That finally gives me the peace when he said that when I come and finally meet you, that's when I get my peace of mind. Now I am worried about the time when you will leave this world and I will also die. And I do know that Allah is going to exalt you in the status of Jannah, but I don't know in the first place whether I will make to Jannah, and even if I do, I may be on the lowest as compared to your rank. They say that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was quiet till this ayat was revealed. That means forever, whoever, al-mar'u ma'a man ahabba. Any man, whoever he is going to love is going to be with him. We are going to rise with the people we love. We are going to rise with the company we keep. It cannot be that we live one life and we expect to get a better in the end. So we need to watch our lives now. What is our company? Who do we sit with? Where do we move around? What is our general thinking with people that are around us? What sort of a lifestyle am I maintaining? So for those who love the Prophet will be raised with the Siddiqeen and the Shuhada and the Salihin and the Nabiyeen. And this is of course a sign of Iman. For whoever is going to live for akhirah, his deeds are going to reflect akhirah. For those who are going to live for the dunya, their deeds are going to reflect dunya. And as for Siddiqeen, like people like Hazrat Abu Bakr and people like Hazrat Umar and the other Sahaba, and they would admit to the truth, they will confess to the truth, they will say the truth, and they will always honor the truth. And for the Salihin, these are the general pious people who may not be on very big levels of being an imam of a society, but they are general pious people. Allah says, ذَلِكَ الْفَضْلُ مِنَ اللَّهِ. Allah says that this is the real grace from Allah. Where do I want to see myself ending? Where? Okay, if I want to see myself ending in Jannah, where do I want to see myself? Do I want to see myself with them? Where do I see? So the first thing is that we need to get to Jannah. We need to do things that will eventually make us go into Jannah. And then whoever is going to do is going to be blessed with the maximum folds one can imagine. So Allah says that, O believers, prepare yourselves for encounter. Now from here we will see that the topic is going to change, and now Allah is going to set some rules for war. O believers, prepare yourselves for encounter, then advance in detachments or all together as the occasion may require. There will be someone among you who will surely lag behind, so that if you face any calamity, he will say, Allah has been gracious to me that I did not accompany them. But if you are blessed with grace from Allah, he will say as if there was no friendship between you and him, I wish I had been with them. I could have attained a mighty good fortune. Let it be known that only those people should fight in the cause of Allah who are willing to exchange the life of this world for the hereafter. And whoever fights for the cause of Allah, whether he dies or is victorious, will soon be granted a mighty reward. And what reason do you have not to fight in the cause of Allah, to rescue the helpless, oppressed, old men, women and children who are crying, Rabbana akhrijna min hazihil qaryati dhalimi ahluha. Our Rabb, deliver us from this town whose people are oppressors. Waj'al lana min ladunka waliya. Send us a protector by your grace and send us a helper from your presence. Waj'al lana min ladunka nasira. These were the challenges that were faced by Prophet Muhammad at the times of Medina also. And these are the challenges that Islam faces today also. And we see that more than that, the Iman is in danger. So the revival of the teachings of Islam at this point is very necessary, that we need to keep reminding ourselves of our real responsibilities. And this is when Iman, once it is revived, will give rise to the teachings of Islam and to its followers. Those who are believers fight in the cause of Allah, and those who are unbelievers fight in the cause of Taghut, that is the forces of Shaitan. So fight against the helpers of Shaitan. Surely Shaitan's crafty schemes are very weak. Have you seen those who were told to restrain their hands from fighting? Establish Salah and pay Zakah now when at length they are commanded to fight. This was at the time of Medina, because initially the first 13 years of Makkah, Muslims were prevented from fighting, and now when they were in Medina, they were allowed to fight. So now when at length they are commanded to fight, a group of them fear people as they should have feared Allah, or even more than that, and say, Our Rabb, why have you ordered us to fight? Could you delay its implementation for a while? And why did they say that? Because of the bloodshed, because of the women becoming widows and the children becoming orphans. Tell them, the enjoyment of this worldly life is short. Life of the hereafter is much better for those who fear Allah. And rest assured that you will not be wronged equal to the fiber of a date stone. أَيْنَمَا تَكُونُوا يُدْرِكُّمُ الْمَوْتُ وَلَوْ كُنْتُمْ فِي بُرُوجٍ مُشَيَّدَةٍ. As for death, no matter where you may be, death is going to reach you even if you are in fortified towers. Death will still take you. If this is the reason why you don't want to go and fight in the cause of Allah, that you may encounter death, then Allah says death is still going to come to you. كُلُّ مَنْ عَلَيْهَا فَانٍ. Kullu nafsin za'iqatul maut. If everybody has to taste that, it will come here or there, but it will come one day. We'll take a short break here.